Hey everybody, today I've got a 2015 E550, which this car is, hey, there's no door handles back here because it's a coupe. It's a two-door coupe and it's got the 4.7 liter BiTurbo engine in it. Let's take a look. Great. Let's see. No, it actually says 5.5. So maybe this is a 5.5. Anyway, E550 with the BiTurbo motor in it. We're gonna put a thermostat in it. The thermostat is this right in here. So we have to take all this stuff off over here. I have the new part. Let me show you the new part. The thermostat comes as this one huge housing. So the belt is what runs right through here. So there is the new thermostat. So we're gonna do thermostat on this thing. Never done one, so bear with me. I've looked at the instructions, it doesn't look too bad. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to take the fresh air tube off. We'll set that aside. Then we'll pop this one off and set it aside. Then we need to pop this one off and set it aside. So now this is the air inlet to the turbo because it comes out of the air filter. Fresh air runs into the air filter, it gets filtered, comes back out and goes to the turbo. So we have to take this one off first. There is a reverse Torx there. There is a clamp there. And then you follow this thing around and then there is another clamp right down there. So we're gonna take this loose. Let me get this loose and I'll come back. And
can't really pick it up on the camera where the clamp is, but
that's okay. I don't know if this actually has a radiator drain to be able to drain the radiator or not, but if there is, we're gonna put it up in the air and try to get the drain. But let me get this pipe off first and we'll come right back. Okay, so I disconnected the air inlet to the turbo here and I disconnected the clamp down there. I had to take a long pry bar and stretch down there and pop this out. So now that this is out, this thing will come out of this hole. You've got to just bring it up and turn it, and there it is. Now I've lost the clamp. Where'd the clamp go? All right, here's the clamp. And the clamp goes on here. How did that clamp come off of there? That's so bizarre. Okay. And the clamp sits up in this position. I don't know how I'm gonna get this clamp back in that position. Okay, so that's taken off. So now we have another one we have to take off. We have to take this hose off. So there is another reverse Torx there. There's a clamp in here. All right, and then there's a clamp right here. There's two clamps right here. And of course, you know, we're gonna have to take and finagle a socket on one of those because this bracket's in the way. All right, so let me get this loose and we'll come back and I'll show you. Okay, so I got that clamp loose there and I got this clamp loose down here and I got it pulled off. There is a bolt here, but there is also another bolt underneath here. I'll show you that in a second here. So we're gonna have to pop this air cleaner assembly up. We'll just set that out of the way so we can get this pipe out. So now this pipe, I hope, will come out of here. Might have to pop this heater hose off here. I think let's do that. I'm gonna pop this hose off. that off, and let's put that back on. So, like I said, this sits in here like that. There's a reverse Torx here, reverse Torx here. You got the clamp, and you got a clamp. So now that piece is out. Alrighty, so here, so you can get a little bit better look. Is this one dead? I don't know. The thermostat's bolted in here and over here, and then there's your upper hose. So we're gonna pop the belt off and clean that coolant up. I think that flashlight.
Oh, there you go. It fell out.
Yeah, this here. Put this flashlight on charge, dude. That one's going dead. That's much better. All right. So, like I said, the problem is now is the belt. The belt is in the way right here. So we're going to take the belt off. Here's the tensioner down here. You rotate the tensioner that way, I do believe, to get the belt off. We need to draw a map of the belt so we know which way it goes back on. And then we will continue on. I think we need to put it up in the air and see if we can drain the coolant out next, so we don't make too much of a mess. We already made a little bit of a mess by taking this one off, but that's okay. So we're gonna get it up in the air, see if there's a drain plug. If there's a drain plug, we're gonna drain the coolant. If not, we're gonna go ahead and pop this belt off, get the upper hose taken off. We're gonna cut this wire tie right here, or actually, we might not need to. It just clips on. So we're gonna unclip this vacuum line, and then there's 3 bolts. There's one here, and there's one buried underneath. We might have to take this off also. So let me continue on, and I'll come back with show you what we're doing. All right, we're under the car now. So we had to take that shield off, which goes right here. We had to take that shield off, which goes right here. And there is a coolant drain right here. Here is the switch for it. And it's gonna drain right out of there. We're gonna drain the coolant out. And we also need to change the oil. So we're gonna have to take the other, it's up in there. Yep, the oil pan's up in there. So we have to take this shield off too to change the oil, but we're still working on the thermostat. So we're gonna get the, get a coolant bucket, and we'll start draining the coolant out. Let me get a pair of channel locks. Yeah, right here. Here, hold the camera.
Where is it?
It's right here. I already got it turned.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah. And you pull. There we go. All right, we're going to drain the coolant out. We'll go ahead and let it back down. And we'll continue. All right, we got the coolant draining now. So this hose here that I took loose to get the piping out, I've taken out and I've shoved it in the fresh air inlet hose to get it out of the way, because now this Mercedes Benz has a BMW style upper radiator hose connection where it is, you pull up on this metal release, and that releases the upper hose, and then the hose just slides out. I'm going to need both hands for that, so let me just go on and tell you what else we're going to do after we get that taken out. We're going to take that bolt out here. We have the belt off. We're going to take a bungee cord and hold that back. We're going to have to take this sensor out, and then there's a bolt here, and a bolt underneath. That's why we're going to have to take the sensor out to get this out. So once I get everything taken out, I'll come back and show you what it looks like all apart. Alrighty, I put a bungee cord over to hold the belt out of the way. I've taken this bolt out, I've taken this bolt out, I've taken this bolt out, taken the wire harness off and thrown that up here. Now this is going to have to come out because the thermostat has got to clear everything Here it is. See how long that thermostat is? So that's got to pull out. So there is a T45 Torx on this, and this is a banjo bolt. So it's going to have a washer and a washer on it. So you don't want to make sure you don't drop the washer when it comes apart. This oil pressure switch or whatever it is. So, take it apart. Okay, so there is that. It looks like the washer is still stuck on the block. I'm at the double check. You can see how there's a washer there. That's what seals it, and there should be a washer here that seals it. It's probably stuck on the block. I'll have to get a mirror. So now the last thing we have is the one bolt, which is right there. We still have to get out. So once we get that bolt out, the thermostat should just slide on out. All right, there's also a vacuum line that plugs up here that hooks to the thermostat housing here. So I've taken that disconnected, and we have that pushed out of the way. Oh, please stay out of the way. Oh, we'll just lay it there. All right, so I've got all the bolts out here, the 3 bolts out here, the bolt out here, the hose off. So I should be able to start wiggling it.
There was a clip that just fell out.
Well, this thermostat is broken. I'll show you what happens to these things.
Yeah, there's a little clip that screws in.
All right, so right here, the clip has broken. That is supposed to be down there in that. Or maybe it's supposed to release. I don't know if it's supposed to release, but that does not look right. Plastic does not belong in a cooling system where it gets up to 212 degrees or 220 degrees. Plastic does not belong in a cooling system. All right, so there is your old thermostat housing out. And you can see this one here, how it's clipped in here and here. So that's why I'm thinking that this thermostat is broken unless it's supposed to release, which I don't think it's supposed to. All right, so what we're gonna do now is put the new one in. It has an O-ring here that seals it. Huh. Okay. Is that where it seals only? How does this seal? Look down here. Let's see. Oh, there is an O-ring in that housing that I don't think he got. So let me see if I can get a new O-ring for that, and we'll put it all back together. Alrighty. Alrighty, so we got the new O-ring installed in here. We cleaned it out with a wire brush. All right, and now the new thermostat, I have put some slide glide on this O-ring, which makes O-ring slide easier, and I put some in here to make the upper hose slide in. It's designed for O-rings, so we're just gonna put a little bit on this O-ring here too. So the new thermostat needs to come in here, like so. You have to put it in at the wrong angle to get it lined up, and then once it's lined up, push it in. Where's the NICs? Right there in front of you. Okay. Now I know you're not supposed to be probably reusing these bolts, but they didn't get me new bolts, so I'm going to reuse them. We're going to put a little anti-seize on them to make sure we don't gall up any of the aluminum. So there's the first one going in. The next one going in. So let me see, how am I going to reach? I guess maybe I'll have to use this hand. Okay, that one does not feel very good. Yep, it's going in. All right, I'm gonna have to go get the torque specs for the thermostat, and then we'll put this bolt in also. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get all these finger tight, get the torque specs, and torque it up, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting everything back together, and we'll come back when we're done to finish up the video. So now after you get this back in, we're gonna put the hose back in, put this vacuum line in, put all the other tubes back in, and then start filling up the coolant. I'll come back when we get everything else put together. So basically you put it back together the way you take it apart. So, but I'll come back and show you the finished product. Alrighty, got the thermostat in, it's all back together and running. And I'll tell you what, the hardest part of this whole job was getting this inlet pipe on and off down here. It fits super tight, and it's just very difficult to get down there, to get that clamp in the right position to tighten it up, to get that thing pushed back on. I had to use a big pry bar in here to get that back on. So there you go, an E550 4.7. It is a 4.7. Right here it says displacement 4.7. So it's not a 5.50 like a lot of people think. It's a 4.7 twin turbo Mercedes Benz E550. All right, everybody, that's how you put the thermostat in. Kind of a pain in the butt, but it is doable. All right, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe. You can always do that in that corner. Please give me a thumbs up if you like my automotive videos.